What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the AEW Unmatched Series 9, Claudio Castagnoli, Jeff Hardy, and Bryan Danielson. And I'm sure you noticed a couple changes about Bryan already. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Alright, so first of all, this is the only 3 figures that I actually ordered from the wave. I'm going to get Wheeler Yuta at some point. I'm probably going to get Mox at some point. And I'm definitely going to get the updated Jamie Hayter. I just gotta order it, honestly. But these were the 3 that I was most excited about by far. We're gonna get into the accessories, and then we're gonna get into the figures, and I'll tell you my honest opinions and how to fix up some of these. So let's go ahead and move these guys to the background. I got a couple bum foots or feet on mine. Jeff will not stand entirely straight. There's something up with the right ankle, or the left on camera, but his right in person. So I gotta make sure he stands up fairly well. Jeff comes with that really cool expressive head that you see back there. We'll get a better look at it in a second. He comes with a straight face head, which when I first saw it, I did not like it. The sculpt is there, but the paintwork is not, sadly. It's so overly glossy. But, oh, not so much on this head, or I had to clean that out, but you can see through the earring gauge, or the gauge, on both sides. You can on this one for sure, which is really cool. And then it has the hair up sculpt, which is very unique. We have not seen that in a Jeff Hardy form whatsoever. We never got a man bun from Mattel, so that's pretty cool. There's the Jeff Hardy head. He comes with 2 hands to hold the weapon that he comes with. As you see, you can tell these are his due to the tattoos. So those are really nice. They even continue down on the fingers on the right hand, so you can see the root tattoo. And then he comes with a really cool chair accessory from one of his returns. It looks really cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be off center or that's just my luck. I wouldn't put it past it either way. But I think that looks really cool. Has the Hardy Boy necklace missing a couple small... well, no, it's not the Hardy Boy. I don't know. I have to go back and look at the actual chair. There's some writing down here. It says Nero over here on the side, and then there is paint on the bottom of the chair. I'm trying to not move this around too much because I don't want to take a chance, because they don't close as well as the Mattel chairs. They're really finicky. That's on the back of the chair, and then you open it up and you see it like that, and then you have that on the bottom. So I will definitely be keeping this closed, just so I don't take a chance and scratch some of the paint off. But that is pretty cool for a chair. That was a lot of time to spend on that chair. Claudio actually comes with the 2 fisted hands that you see on him right now. And then kind of like a... I don't know how to explain this. Maybe some like relaxed hands. Definitely an interesting choice. And I think those hands scale kind of small. And then he comes with a Blackpool Combat Club jacket. Has the logo on the front. Has the... arrow, or I cannot pinpoint what these are actually for, but they could be video game related possibly. And then you have the Swiss cross at the bottom. Then on the back you have the Claudio Castagnoli. Looks good. I love the material. Unfortunately it does stain, but it did not stain this figure around, so that's pretty cool. For Bryan Danielson, that is not the head scan or the torso that came with the figure, so get ready for this. He comes with 2 fisted hands. He comes with a microphone and a microphone holding hand, which, God, we have a lot of AEW microphones. And then he comes with 2 chopping hands or slapping hands. I will say on this assortment, the pegs and the hands do not move that well. Like, I'm having to put a lot of force into it, and it took all that just to get it to pop. It looks like they painted the skin tone over some of the joints. Not so much this hand as one of the other ones I was looking at, but it does hinder it a lot. This is the original head and torso that comes on this Bryan Danielson. This Bryan Danielson head is, I know he does have like the crow's feet and the wrinkles on the face, but it's a little much. The lower jaw is sticking out way too far, in my opinion. And he's just cheesing too hard, honestly, and it's unfortunate. The head's not that bad. Mine has a molding issue right there. I could take an X-Acto knife and just cut that off, though. But I'll probably try this at some point. But this is the overly large torso that we have seen from the Bryan Danielson figures before. We see him with the Malachi Black figures, and I just don't think they get the job done. So I swapped the torso, and we will talk about that in a minute. So For the figures themselves, let's go ahead and get into Jeff. He comes with two of his opposing hands. Of course, you have to. He comes shirtless, which is an interesting choice, but I think they did that so they wouldn't have to put a cloth shirt on here, take a chance of staining, but we get the tattoos. I do like this leg mold. I just do hate that this foot will not go down properly. It has pretty good articulation. Well, that's about as far back as he can get there. And now I know Jeff isn't the most flexible of people, but still. And it does look a little boxy once you open that joint up, but that's to be expected anytime you have baggy pants. As far as getting out, he can get out to about that far, which I didn't think Jeff could actually do. Kicking forward, he gets pretty good range of motion, and then going back is the resting pose, pretty much. So that sucks. The arms feel very fluid. They don't have the clicking issues that we typically see with the AEW figures, which we also see in the knuckle crunchers from Mattel. That's kind of what the AEW figures used to do. Looks really good. Let's address the elephant in the room, though, and that is the tattoos on the back. Now, we could sit here all day long and go through these tattoos one by one. I don't want to bore anybody here, but this looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to have one critique, obviously, and that is I wish that it had a little more of the crispness that the Mattel release has. I talked about this with Nick Storm last night. I love the crispness of the Mattel. Now, I don't know how I feel about the metallic demon so much, and then here it's not even colored in. I don't know which one's accurate. I hadn't really looked. But I would love the fullness of the Jazzwares with the crispness of the Mattel. Because like the Hardy Boy logo up here is very vibrant, but on here it is not. Then again, it is a very, very old tattoo. It could be faded by now. You have the root tattoo, which has, God, basically been covered up by this dragon or snake. I don't remember. You have the torso, or the tattoo going across the top of the torso into the triceps and neck area. It's so much detail. I'm very, very impressed. I thought the Malachi Black figure was insane. This is insane too. Has the purple tattoo. I don't know what that's supposed to be, honestly. Continues on the ribs on the side and then onto his left arm. You have the filled in version over here on the Mattel. It wasn't colored in because that's how it was at the time. And then you have the snake continuing on the ribs and onto the stomach here. I just noticed I did get a little bit of green from the paint apps, I guess, onto the right pec, but it's one of those things. Now, I'm calling this the meet and greet Jeff Hardy because it's pretty bare bones. They didn't give him arm sleeves, but I think that was a chance for them to kind of flex off their tattoo application, which is pretty cool. So if you have an extra, I would recommend taking the Entrance Greats Jeff Hardy and popping this shirt on it from Mattel. If it'll actually fit, I don't know, because the Jazzwares torsos are always so big. I don't know how well that will actually fit. Oh, that looks cool from the back, and it works from the front. That's pretty cool. This is exactly how I'm going to be displaying it on my shelf, and then I will eventually get another one, so I will have one that will stand flush because that does bother me. But that is Jeff Hardy. That was a lot of time spent on one person. Let's get into Bryan Danielson. Like I said, this is not the original head or the torso, but he comes with this really cool white t-shirt. The white t-shirt that he showed up in like several times at the beginning of his AEW run. Let's go ahead and take that off so you guys can see what I used. I used the AEW Unmatched Series 4 MJF torso. I think it's more accurate. Danielson's head looks really, really big here. But I love the pants. It has great articulation, which is very surprising. Like, he can get up to there with no issue. Kicking out to the side, he can hit that super kick, hit him with a thigh slap as well. No real articulation backwards, but I think I didn't notice it really until now, but that's what we expect with the Jazzwares figures. But that double jointed knee gets all the way back. Looks very, very good. We've seen this MJF torso. You kind of hear that. That's that crunching that I was talking about with the Mattel figure. But it's really cool. I like this Danielson a lot. Once you put a different head and different torso on it, it works really good. And I want to use this to recreate his Anarchy in the Arena look, where he wore the khaki pants and like the white muscle tank. I want to do that because that's a version I think is really cool. I just have to acetone off the rib tattoo here, the bicep tattoo here, and the wrist tape. But I think this is a way to make your Bryan Danielson figure so much better. And I think with this torso, he scales better. For example, here he is with Samoa Joe, who is obviously bigger, but not so much. I don't know, that scale's a little off. Let's check out how he is with this Mattel Triple H. I like this scale a lot. Very big fan of this, the way these look up against each other. And then let's compare him to another figure I have just sitting here, and that is Sheamus. And then, so I don't know if Sheamus is just too small or if Bryan is too tall. But that is a different problem for a different day, I guess. But with a couple small fix-ups, this Bryan Danielson figure is actually pretty top-notch. Let's get into Claudio Castagnoli. Now, I talked about this in the Jazzwares Vault Ring of Honor figure. I think this torso is too big. Not that it doesn't work for him, don't get me wrong. I just think it's too big. The arms, I wish they were a little bit bigger. I'm not going to lie. Because it's just not proportionate between the torso and the arms. But there's a great range of motion. You still have that fluidity. The torso doesn't pop off as easily as the Jazzwares Vault figure did. That took a lot to get it to pop off. Whereas the Vault figure popped off very, very easily. But I like this head scan. It's nothing too special. It is a bald guy with a beard and some shading. I don't know what the technical term for this is. I try not to worry about it because I don't want to go bald. But it does look good. This is one of the first AEW figures to have the chest hair. Mox in this series is one of the other ones. I love the look of the tights. Very simple. The black with the red lines, the gold lines, and the Swiss flag cross here. Looks very good. Nothing too over the top. You have the boots that we have seen Cesaro use. This is actually from his debut at Forbidden Door 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. My only issue, though, is that he is just way too tall. That's how he is with Bryan. And the reason I had the Sheamus out is because of the bar. And yeah, I mean, Cesaro's figures, or Claudio's figure is obviously way too tall, but I think the Sheamus could get a little bit taller and it wouldn't be too big of an issue. Let's compare him to Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns, and you'll see, obviously this Claudio figure is way too tall, but I got a couple fix-ups in mind to make this figure even better, just like adding a tank top onto Jeff and swapping that torso on Bryan Danielson. So I will give credit to Jazzwares. These are some very solid figures, and with just a couple small changes, we're able to make them perfect. But that is going to be it for today's review. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, take it easy.